I'd like to ask you about your tolerance for discomfort or your tolerance for pain. Because little things like cold showers or jumping into the pool in the morning, which is something I know that you practice, that takes getting through that part of your brain that is like, I don't want to do this, that this is going to be uncomfortable. And I'm curious what your relationship is with that and how that has influenced the rest of your life.
I think it's the single defining characteristic of anybody who's really able to achieve what they want, and those people who aren't, is the ability to collapse, their fear surrounding something, or ability to push through beneficial discomfort. There's pain just for pain's sake, which is just masochistic, right? But there's the beneficial pain of self-exploration and looking at your own shit and looking at your shadows, or, taking it can be played out in the physical, going through a hard workout, working out when you don't want to, taking the cold shower, or evaluating, your validation patterns in your relationship, evaluating trauma that's come from your childhood, sitting with yourself quietly without distraction, those type of things. That's what really defines like a truly happy, fulfilled life, and one that isn't. So whenever I see something that's out of alignment, where my fear is greater than actual danger, or I have discomfort preventing me from doing something that's beneficial, I go straight at it because I know that I have to collapse it. And even if it's like a weird, silly example, like I've given this example before on other podcasts, but I just did it last night, so I'll tell a story. Like it's now becoming tree cockroach season in Austin. So the tree cockroaches, they slide under the doors and they get in little cracks in the house. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I'm scared of them. And so here's the options. One, you smash them and their guts go everywhere, and then you got to clean it. And I feel bad for killing it. Why does it deserve to die? It just found its way into my house, So I don't like doing that. The other option is to get like a little dish, like I would a spider, slide a paper under it and let it out. That's really easy. I can do that. But the way that I can collapse, because there's no actual danger from the cockroach, the way that I can collapse my fear around it is to grab it with my hand and let it outside, right? Like that is the thing that if I wasn't afraid at all, I'd just scoop it up and take it outside. And so I know that that's an area where I can work. That's an area where I can confront fear. Like, okay, here's this big pocket of fear that if I apply myself and go straight into, in that specific instance, I'll be able to use that courage universally when I'm faced with something else. So again, yesterday, first cockroach of the season, I see it on the wall and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. First I ignored it and I like walked by and like, maybe it'll go away. It didn't go away. I was like, fuck, like I know what my job is here. So I got myself kind of psyched up and not quite psyched up enough. Like you really got to get in a state where you're ready to confront your fears. And I went to grab it and I like touched it and it spazzed out and like fluttered its wings and I went, ah, and I like jumped and then my heart rate got elevated. And then I'm like trying to chase it around. And I'm like in this totally stressed out state, like not giving up, not quitting, but like battering this cockroach around like I'm a cat. And it was like this horrible, horrible scene. And eventually I take a couple deep breaths and I'm like, come on, man, get it together. Scoop it up in my hand, get it in my hand, calmly walk outside. And then it spasms and I freak out and I get that jolt of fear as it's trying to squirt out of my hand, calm myself again, and then let it off out into my garden. And like that moment is, even though it like my battle report is like not good, it's like fail, flail, keep trying, scramble, get afraid. But that's the first cockroach of the season. Maybe next one will be a little better and next one will be a little better. But at least doing that now, I know that like, all right, in the back of my head, it's like, at least you did it, man. At least you didn't ignore that thing. Like at least you had the courage to try it. And so whatever the next thing that I need courage for, I'm building up this pattern. I'm building up this way that I know myself. I know Aubrey as the person who will collapse fear and be courageous in the face of fear when it's not correlated to danger. And so you start to know yourself that way. And then if you start to know yourself that way, you can really achieve the kind of personal power that we all have as potential.